And I'm Marwa. Hi, Anton.
Hi, Marwa. How are you today?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Great. So today we are going to have a pretty short basic tip. You might know that my personal blog is called apexdebug.com. Um, and
Yes.
so it's a little bit related to that. Marwa, what do you use or what have you used in the past to instrument your code? A lot of people call it debug, but I like to call it instrumenting your code because you put this instrumentation in and you want it to be able to run all the time or some of the time. What have you used to do that?
For instrumentation and debugging, I have used Logger and I have used also Apex Debug.
Yeah, I have as well, and I've used a whole bunch of other utilities as well, including some just homegrown utilities for logging. And I like Logger a lot. I think it's a great tool. We also had InSum Debug. Well,
Yes.
we've deprecated InSum Debug. InSum Debug was really just a wrapper on top of Apex Debug, which made it easy for people to switch from Logger to Apex Debug. You could just replace any of the Logger calls with instead of Logger dot in some debug dot. Anyway, but that was a lot of code to manage. So you can still use it. In some debug is still there. Logger is still there, but neither one is supported commercially at this point. We never supported it commercially. We just used it in. So and they're good products. But at this point, Apex Debug has so much content. Everything I need just about that I can think of is in Apex Debug. So I've defaulted to just using Apex Debug. So much so that I even named my blog Apex Debug. Um,
Yes.
so what do you think about just using Apex Debug?
Well, me too. I've defaulted to using it, but in some cases it's challenging to keep using it. So, and
And
especially if
what
you're
are the reasons? What makes it challenging? What have you had a challenge with Apex Debug?
yes, it's in the case when I'm not in an Apex application.
That is the challenge. So how do you solve that? What's your go-to? Do you go back to Logger? What do you?
No, I keep using Apex Debug and I'll try to mimic, let's say, the context of an Apex application. So it's not exactly mimicking, but it's create setting the workspace ID.
Okay, so why don't we jump
And
right in and we'll show people what
yes,
we're talking about. I'll share my screen and we'll take people to the details of this. So I'm going to go ahead and kick off my timer right here because we got 5 minutes. So the challenge here, as you said, is if you're in SQL and you're not in an Apex application. So right here, I'll show right now, I don't have a workspace ID. I don't have an application ID. I have not created an Apex context in any way at all. Right? So in that scenario, normally, even if you don't have debug turned on, if you do apex.debug, apex_debug.error, if you run this code, you would get a message in the debug log. And I'm going to check my debug log, and so it looks like Apex just has not logged it.
no, it actually has logged it, but you can't see it through this view.
So if I go look at the internal tables, the www flow debug message tables, and I run it from here, I do in fact see that was the message that we just got.
Yes, and you can see with flow ID, the page ID are null, session ID is 0, etc.
Right. And here's the key element, the security group ID is 0. And that's why we don't see it when we query the view, because this
Exactly.
view checks, this Apex debug messages view checks the security group ID. So how are we
Yeah,
going to solve this?
so we need to set the security group ID.
Okay. Well, folks have probably done this in the past. You use apex util.set security group ID. I'm just figuring out what it should be with the little query above. A variety of ways you could do that. I've now set my security group ID. I'm up here with my security group ID. We have it set. I can now run apex debug.error. I'm inside SQL Plus. I'm not inside an Apex application. I don't even have an Apex application session context. I've just got the security group ID. If I query here, I now have my debug message, my error message. So are we done?
No, actually, we have something bonus, if you can say, which is little package that you prepared that we can.
Yeah, so the idea is exactly that if I do apex underscore debug dot message, sometimes I want those to get logged and sometimes I don't. And that's based upon the debug level. Well, right now, I don't have a debug level, right? There's no debug level. So if I do apex debug dot message and I query here, I'm not going to get it because it didn't log it because I don't have a debug level set.
Exactly.
Right. So you're right. I did create just a little package and a table. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to set what I want my my sessionless debug level to be. So if something comes in and it runs a package and that package does not have an Apex session, what do I want it to be? And so I can set this to whatever I want it to be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just the standard things, and submit this. So now with just this little bit of code that I wrote, and I'll show it to you right here. It's 43 lines of code. I'm not going to get into it, but what it does is it checks to see, basically it checks to see, do I have an Apex session? Do I have an app ID? And if I don't have one, it reads that table and it sets the debug level to whatever debug level I have. So back in my
Exactly.
SQL Plus, right here, I'm going to do my little setup. So I'm going to run this little setup routine right here. There's my setup. If I want, I can take a look and get the output of that setup. I can take a look and say, how did things get set up? That's what I have right here. So right here, if I run this, I should get my output. Oh, I don't know. It should show up right down here. I'm not sure why I'm not getting it, but I've got my security group ID set. So now I've got my security group ID set. I should have my debug level set to something, whatever I set it to. What did I set it to? I set it to
Five.
5. Okay, so now when I do a message, I should see that message right up here. And there I have it. And I didn't force it. I just set the message and that's it. So the recommendation would be simply run this little bit, put this little one line of code, at the beginning of any procedure or function in your PL SQL packages. That one line of code, xxtln debug util setup, put that there, and then it will, if it's in an Apex session, it will do whatever Apex normally does. If it's not within an Apex session, all of your debug will still work. It will just be based upon the one row in this little table here. And that's it. We have 5 seconds to go. All right. So the last thing I'll say is hopefully while we were speaking through the magic of scheduling, my blog has this code in it. So we're going to check. I'm going to
Okay.
check right now. We'll check to apexdebug.com. We'll see if it got, okay, apparently it did not get published. Yes, it did. Okay, using Apex
It,
Debug without a session. Beautiful. So we just published it right here. So you've got it's a single create table. It's insert a row, and then that row does, I put a value of 1. You can make it null, anything null, 1 through 9. And then this tiny little package right here, and then this one little line of code. And that's all you need. So, so, yeah, Rich, that's left to the reader. Rich says that it would be nice if those were descriptions of each level. But they're the same debug levels that we all know. 1 through 9 are the debug levels of Apex. But that's on a lesson left to the reader. Okay. So that is our tip. We did it within 5 minutes. Marwa, I understand you have a little post show. What do you have for us?
okay. So I have a fun fact that I just discovered recently. I think you have a question. Would you like to answer them first, maybe? Do we
Well,
have
oh,
any
yes, we do have a
question?
question. We have a question. It says, hi, does Apex Debug store the current user in case of a proxy user who created the record? So does it store the current user? It's going to store nobody as the user that the Apex user. You need to, in your Apex message, put who the user was. If there's no Apex session, the user that you're going to see there, it's always Apex user in the debug message log. And so that Apex user is going to either be null or nobody, depending on a couple of things. So in this case, it will probably be null. It won't even have an Apex user identified. But you can easily put that in your message, in the message you create. So when you do apex.debug, apex_debug.message, you can put in whatever you want into the message. So, okay, I think that's our only question at this point.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so I can carry on with my fun fact about human body, and it says that your ears and nose will never stop growing. Did you know that?
Just looking in the mirror, you can tell it was me.
I can't imagine if we live longer, how bigger they would be. They literally never stop growing.
Excellent. Well, that is today's fun fact. Thank you, Marwa. Well,
Thank you.
I guess that's it for today. If you liked the show, like the show, do all those things that Mark always puts on the screen, splat and likes and thumbs up, all that stuff. Oh, looks like Lauren knows how to do it
Yay!
too. All right. Well, and thanks to Lauren for stepping in to help us out today. We'll see everybody in 2 weeks because I'm off next Friday.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye bye.